Crossbow accuracy with broadheads. I started out like a lot of people with carbon bolts because they're lighter and faster, but the problem with them is accuracy. Most of them are not spine indexed, and we will talk about that. I also started out with a Montech broadhead because it is awesome looking and durable, but it has some accuracy issues also that we will get into. I said spine matched, but I should have said spine indexed. So what we're talking about with spine is how much your bolt's going to flex when a weight is applied. When we're talking about spine indexed is when I press with a certain amount of weight, this bolt might flex 1/8 of an inch. And it's an aluminum bolt, so if I turn it some and I put the same amount of weight right here, it should still flex about 1/8 of an inch. Now if this was a carbon bolt and I put weight here, it might flex 1/8 of an inch, but then when I turn it, it might flex only 1/16 of an inch. So that means you have a weak point and a strong point along the diameter of your bolt. And if you don't have your different colored vane placed in accordance to your weak point and your strong point the same on all your bolts, then they're not going to be as accurate. Later in this video, we're going to be performing a spin test on a Mozzie, a Montech, and a Rage, and you're going to be surprised with the results of which ones are accurate and which ones are not. Lots of hunters, including myself, go back and forth between fixed blades and mechanical blades. Think about your bolt as if it was a rocket. Rockets have been engineered for thousands of hours by engineers and rocket scientists, and they don't have anything extra up front. They want it to fly straight. They have their power in the back, which we're getting our power from our knock, but they have an engine, and it's straight, and there's nothing extra up front. When you start messing with that design, especially with a fixed blade broadhead, you're adding things to the front, you're adding wind resistance to the front, and then your vanes have to work harder to keep it going straight. Your fixed blade broadhead wants to steer the front, and your vanes have to keep it straight. Now if you have a 4-inch vane and you go to a 5-inch vane, it is going to correct more for a fixed blade broadhead, and I have done that before. Now every time I've ever checked a Mozzie, it has always stayed in the exact same spot on the tip. So it just leaves a tiny little mark there. This is the Montech, and hopefully you can see this. Right at the tip, it is not staying just in one tiny little spot. It's making a slight circle, and I'm just picky. I want this broadhead to be perfect. Making a tiny little circle there. And now for the Rage spin test. Looks like a pinpoint point on that, and I can tell you from experience that these are very accurate. They do, as advertised, shoot the same as my field tips. So the easiest way to have an accurate crossbow is to have an aluminum bolt and a mechanical broadhead. If you really want to go fixed, I had good luck with the Mozzies with an aluminum bolt, or you could try some spine index carbon bolts from Borkholder Archery. I'll have a link at the bottom. Another option is, say you want to stick with the Montech and you want to shoot a carbon bolt and you don't want spine matched carbon bolts. What you can do is sight in one bolt and use that as your main bolt. Your other ones will be close, but they're not going to be exact. And that one bolt will shoot the exact same every time, no matter what bolt or what broadhead. It might not shoot the same as the others, but it will shoot the exact same every time, deadly accurate. So use that as your hunting bolt. When you lose it or damage it, just sight in another bolt and make that your main hunting bolt. It's a good system, it's inexpensive, and it works.